Tonight on TV2 KSU, the death toll continues to rise from Hurricane Sandy.
And 155,000 Ohioans still without power.
And how does the cost of Sandy compare to that of Katrina and Ike? We'll tell you coming up.
Portage County's news on TV2 KSU starts now.
Good morning and welcome to TV2 KSU. I'm Caitlin LeBeau.
And I'm Nicole Sopteric. Tonight's top story, police caught a 24-year-old woman driving on the wrong side of the road in Streetsboro last night. Ashley Stewart traveled east in the westbound I-480 lanes. Take a look at the video that came from a police dash cam. Stewart ignored the sirens and she continued driving. One cop jumped out of his vehicle to stop her, but she made a quick U-turn and kept driving. Police say Stewart was under the influence at the time.
And it's a sad day for Lance Armstrong. Cycling's governing body stripped Armstrong of all 7 Tour de France titles. The U.S. anti-doping agency accused Armstrong of using 3 stimulants during the races. Armstrong denied the allegations but did not fight the agency. The governing body erased Armstrong's name from the record books forever.
With homecoming around the corner, Kent State's athletic director Joe Nielsen talked about his expectations for the football team.
The first 2 weeks have been 2 of our largest student crowds, and so for the 2.5 years I've been here. But I think overall they've been 2 of our better crowds that we've had for students, so I've been very, very encouraged and very pleased about it. I'm very positive we'll get great student turnout for homecoming. You know, that's very typical if you look through the years. And then in 2 weeks we're back home again to Akron. So I anticipate having great student crowds for those 4 games, and then leading into that last game at home against Ohio, which could mean something. I know the students will be away for Thanksgiving break, but we have a lot of students in the area and a lot of students that commute and live in the area, so hopefully they'll still come out and take in that game.
Bring your school spirit to the homecoming game this Saturday against Western Michigan. The game starts at 1 p.m.
Kent State President Lester Lefton cut the ribbon for the new on-campus student green yesterday with a dismal turnout. Student reporter Abu Safar has the story.
Silent, desolate. Just a few words that could be used to describe the new student green. The new front door to the university officially opened last Thursday, but the response by students has been lackluster. Many students, alumni, and faculty attended last week's ribbon cutting and official opening of the student green. President Lester Lefton himself spoke at the event.
It's a place for organized events. It's a place for casual gatherings. I think these seat walls are going to be covered with students eating lunch, studying, socializing.
Despite the windy weather, dozens of students attended the opening. There was music, free food, and giveaways. But some of the students had one big question on their minds. What is there to do here?
President Lester Lefton stood on this very stage last Thursday during the opening of the student green. As we can see, 4 days later, not a single soul is on the stage. The green has been empty all day today, and students still cannot find anything to do once the sun has set.
Not a single person can be seen on a beautiful autumn afternoon. Empty benches, empty stage, and not a soul in sight. Freshman Brian says it seems like a nice place, but he can't see himself ever using it.
I don't think I would. I'm not really into watching, traffic or anything like that. It just seems like a nice visitor welcome type area for all the visitors that come and look at the campus.
Brandon, a sociology major, likes the area better than the parking lot, but thinks the nearly $3 million could have been used elsewhere.
Maybe that would have been better to making small scholarships available to more students, especially since things are really tough financially for a lot of people right now.
How the green will affect future enrollment and the university's image is yet to be seen. Abu Zafar, TV2 News.
Thanks, Abu. The university encourages you to check out the student green. And another new place on campus, the May 4th Memorial Center. Reporter Ian Klinger is here to tell you all about it.
32 years ago, on May 4th, 1970, the tragic event during the Vietnam War impacted Kent State and the country.
At that point, when they reached the exact top of the hill, they turned in unison, lowered their weapons, and started firing immediately.
The National Guard took fire on Kent State students. They injured 9 and killed 4.
just jumped on the ground and said, "Oh my God, they're shooting at me." And I could hear them bullets hitting the ground around me. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was totally frightened. I mean, I was fearing for my life because there were live rounds hitting the ground right near where I was. And then all of a sudden I got hit.
The May 4th Memorial's Visitors Center will open Saturday to the public. The open house will be held from 10:30 to 2 p.m.
We'll get a lot of alumni, people who came for homecoming. So we think it's really nice to have our very first time that we're opening the doors to be here for homecoming.
The memorial will provide time to learn, reflect, and experience everything that happened on that day.
I think the exhibit is everything we had hoped it would be and more. We think that it is beautiful. It has a great spirit.
May 4th, 1970 has become a part of Kent State history.
Thanks, Ian. That sounds like a great way to honor the victims.
Moving from Kent to the political world, CNN sources said 2 hours after the attack on U.S. Consulate Benghazi, an Islamic group told White House FBI State Department that they were responsible for the attacks. Ansar al-Shari claimed responsibility on his Facebook and Twitter page, according to an email sent to him, the State Department, to various government agencies.
Vice President Joe Biden took the presidential campaign to Lorraine earlier today. Jake Corcoran is here with the story.
We win this election!
Biden stopped by Lorraine High School Monday during his 12th stop through Ohio during the election season.
Biden! Biden!
Vice President talked in front of nearly 1,000 people in a packed gymnasium, discussing topics ranging from jobs,
A president's job is to bring jobs home.
foreign affairs,
The president and I have made it clear that we will end this war in Afghanistan by the end of 2014, period.
and what really got the crowd going is when Biden brought up Governor Romney's infamous 47% comment.
Those 47% of the people you dismissed, they are hard-working people. They pay their payroll taxes. They pay their state taxes. They pay their property taxes. They pay their taxes. As a matter of fact, they pay more taxes than you do.
After the speech ended, the crowd voiced their opinions on why it's important for Biden and Obama to be campaigning in the Buckeye State.
And I think that we need to focus here because so many jobs are here.
You cannot overstate the importance of this state and the vote to the ticket. So they should be here, as far as I'm concerned, daily.
Yes. So it's one of those important states that needs more focus, needs to educate those that's in the community more than any other state, I believe.
Vice President Biden will be rejoining his running mate President Obama today as they gather to speak in Dayton, Ohio. For TV2 News, I'm Jake Corcoran.
If you missed the Vice President this time around, don't worry, he'll be back in town later this month.
Vice President Biden and Congressman Paul Ryan will debate tonight at Center College in Daneville, Kentucky. The two candidates will be discussing foreign and domestic policy issues. This is Vice President Biden's second vice presidential debate. 4 years ago, he was up against Governor Sarah Palin. Congressman Ryan will be making his debut on the debate stage tonight at 9 p.m. here on TV2. And in another debate, GOP U.S. Senate candidate Richard Murdoch made quite a stir in the Indiana State debate last night. The moderator asked him to explain his stance on abortion during his debate. Senator Murdoch said, quote, "Even when life begins in that horrible situation of rape, that is something that God intended to happen," end quote. Governor Romney's son, Tag.
Thanks, Uncle. Governor Romney's son, Tag, apologized to President Obama this week. During a radio interview after the second debate between Governor Romney and President Obama, Tag said he wanted to take a swing at the president for questioning his father's honesty. According to a Romney campaign official, Tag apologized for his comment.
Lexington physician Lisa Stein was nominated the Green Party presidential nominee at the party's national convention this weekend. TV2's Rich Pierce has the story.
I'm voting for Jill Stein.
We need Jill Stein for president.
It has been a long time since a third-party candidate has finished in the top two of a presidential election. 100 years, in fact. But history is not stopping Green Party candidate Jill Stein from running. She says the other candidates simply aren't getting the job done. Her opinion summed up in this line from one of her campaign ads.
What we don't deserve is pandering, irresponsible bullshit passes itself off as campaigning. I can't believe
She says it's time to talk about real issues.
Well, you know, you can ask the question, what are they talking about? And in the last debate, they discussed minutia, trivia. They were totally down in the weeds, and they were not talking about the things that really matter.
Stein also blames the press for allowing the candidates to avoid talking about what she calls the most important issues in this election.
But what we have now is not a press, but rather an industry with few exceptions.
You won't find her trading blows on the national stage in arenas like this one with Mitt Romney or Barack Obama, but she does plan on making her presence felt outside the debates by protesting for the right to go inside.
We'll be marching and demanding. That's the only way that we will get into the debates, is by saying that this silencing of independent voices is the silencing of the American public.
Stein will be running against President Obama and Governor Romney in November.
Hurricane Sandy became the second most expensive hurricane in American history this past weekend. Its damages are estimated at $50 billion and replaces previous runner-up, Hurricane Ike. Ike cost $29.5 billion in damages. Hurricane Katrina remains the most costly hurricane, coming in at $108 billion in repairs. Coming up, find out what Donald Trump is offering President Obama for the release of his birth certificate.